When Musia, one of the cats at the Russian zoo, vanished, Alice and the other employees were absolutely terrified. When they eventually located her, they discovered she had given birth. But the creatures they spotted beneath her weren't kittens. One chilly winter morning, Alice, a staff member at the Sagorod Zoo in Vladivostok, northeastern Russia, was headed to work when she heard faint screams from her balcony. She looked around quickly and came across a little frozen cat. This cat was on the ground, helpless, but she stopped weeping and closed her eyes when she spotted Alice. This cat no longer had the power to fight for her life, even though it appeared that she was relieved that someone had finally come to her aid. "Hey, little one, make sure you're looking. I'm here now, stay with me," Alice replied. The cat opened her eyes at the sound of Alice's words, then closed them almost instantly again. In a hurry, Alice tucked the fluffy creature under her jacket to be warm. She immediately sped up her car and headed toward the zoo. When she arrived, she requested that the vet treat the cat in her workspace. Upon seeing the cat, who Alice had now given the name Musia, the veterinarian expressed doubt about her chances of survival that evening. Alice steadfastly refused to return home. Rather, she slept at the workplace with the intention of staying up all night to make sure she could say farewell to Musia. But as luck would have it, Alice ultimately fell asleep about 3 and woke up at 7 in the morning. She sprung to her feet and glanced in Musia's direction of sleep, but to her astonishment, Musia wasn't there. Alice's heart skipped a beat because she was so terrified. Had Musia passed away and been removed by a staff member? She heard a meow from the window side at that very moment, and when she glanced up, Musia was there. Compared to the lifeless soul Alice had spared yesterday, this cat was nothing. Now bursting with excitement, Musia recognized Alice right away and even began purring. "Oh, sweet cat, dear Musia, I thought I lost you." Alice took the cat in her arms and showered her face with kisses. The cat made a full recovery in a few of days. Growing stronger, she started to perch on the window. This cat was really curious. She wanted to know what was going on at the zoo and even within the office walls. However, everyone was afraid of what may happen to her if she left the workplace, since they knew she wouldn't survive in the real world. Alice managed to retain Musia in the workplace for a whole year. The kitten had even become pals with every zoo visitor by that point. She and Alice also have a lovely and affectionate bond. Then one day, all of the people's concerns came true. Alice unintentionally left the office door slightly open when she left that day. Musia escaped the workplace that evening by squeezing herself through the door. The following day, when everyone went back to work, Musia was nowhere to be seen. Alice and her co-workers scoured the whole region for 2 days without success. Alice felt her heart spring into her gut each time she passed the enclosure housing the crocodile. What if Musia had broken into an enclosure housing some wild animals? Other employees soon lost faith and cautioned Alice not to expect to see Musia ever again. "She has spent a year living with us," Alice said. She liked living here and would never have rushed away like that. However, Musia had disappeared after 3 days, and Alice's confidence in her cherished animal companion started to wane as well. Maybe Musia's curiosity overcame her, and she ran away. Admittedly, the personnel found their office more vibrant with the cat, and they would really miss her. Maybe it was permanent farewell. Definitely not, though. Guess who turned up 2 days later? Music. She went back alone to the workplace. But a few weeks later, Alice sensed something strange about the cat, even though everyone was thrilled that she was back. Musia, who was always vivacious, started to become grumpy and listless. She even began sleeping for extended periods of time. Alice thought about several things. Was the feline idle? Did she need to get outside? Thus, Alice left the door ajar to let Musia to go for a walk if she so desired. To her amazement, though, the cat stayed in the office and observed everyone from a corner. But neither Alice nor the crew had anticipated what was about to happen. 2 months or so later, Alice was informed that Musia had vanished once more when she arrived at work on a Friday morning. However, Alice didn't freak out this time. She had faith in her feline. Alice knew that Musia would visit her once again because the cat had come back on her own previously. But something happened the next day that drove her to look for her animal buddy passionately. It started to rain fiercely in the evening of the next day. The zoo's animals were all crying and frightened. Alice realized that she had to go save Musia immediately, not later in the morning, not within the following few hours, because she could no longer wait for her to come to her. As though nature recognized Alice's predicament. The rain stopped the instant she reached for her flashlight to look for Musia. Alice's co-workers joined the hunt as well. They moved in pairs and trios, but Alice moved so quickly that she ultimately separated from her companions and found herself on her own. Alice heard a faint call coming from an abandoned cave inside the zoo a few minutes into the hunt. Alice was correct when she sensed her dear friend's presence right away. She discovered Musia in a corner as she entered. "Hey, darling, here I come," Alice answered. "You can come out," but was taken aback when Musia chose not to approach her. But that was also the moment she saw something else. Alice spotted a few little individuals next to Musia. Then she saw 4 kittens and ran toward the animal. Then she learned that Musia had left the workplace to give birth, but that wasn't the most confusing part. There were 8 young hedgehogs right next to the kitties. It appeared as though Musia had also given birth to them as she caressed them. What was going on in this situation? How did Musia get to be beneath 8 hedgehogs? Alice's mind was filled with more questions than answers. She nonetheless took all the animals to the veterinarian, where they were given the attention they needed. After that, Alice divided the hedgehogs into 2 boxes out of fear that they would puncture Musia or the kittens. But it seems that Musia was correct in this instance. This cat didn't think the pricks would harm her kittens either, nor was she afraid of them. This cat, you see, had a big heart, and everyone was startled by what she did next. Musia scooped up her kittens and put them in the hedgehog box across from the other box. She then took a seat and led all 12 of the infants to cuddle up to her. What a lovely expression of love. This mother cat did not perceive any distinction between the hedgehogs and her offspring. All she wanted to do was love and look after each of them. Isn't that the main purpose of life? With the task of providing some warmth for the miserable animals completed, there was one more worry. How would the hedgehogs eat? The veterinarian made every effort to feed them from a bottle, but it was unsuccessful. "Let's just let Musia wrap things up." Alice remarked, "I trust her judgment." And they gave the mother cat the reins. As she happily nursed her adoptive kids, she wondered what this cat had done. Alice posted a photo of the stunning scene on the zoo's Instagram feed. As soon as the pictures went viral, Musia rose to fame. She even made appearances on well-liked Russian TV programs. The hedgehogs were soon able to feed themselves, but Musia carried on with her maternal duties. She goes to see how they are doing, knowing where to locate them. Alice discovered later that their mother had died in an unintentional lawnmower accident, leaving the hedgehogs without a mother. They now have a chance to life because of one clever cat with a big heart. We appreciate you viewing the video today. Until the next occasion.